what is out for 2024 spring and summer fashion, and what is in, that is wearable fashion. I know a lot of you don't follow trends in fashion anymore, particularly over a certain age. I'm well over 60, so I'm interested in trends. I still like to know what's going on because I do like to keep current. I'm a huge believer in keeping current can make us look more youthful and more stylish. At the same time, I don't think that many of us over a certain age are actually victims of trends. The first style that I want to mention that is out is oversized anything. Oversized blazers in particular, but just the oversized look, and this makes me really happy because I am petite. 5'4" and under is considered petite. I'm 5'3". Having said that, recently I was watching a video about petite fashion and I was reading a few of the comments, and one comment really made me stop and think. The comment was that 5'4" and under might be considered petite in many countries in the world, but there's lots of countries in the world where people are just genetically shorter. And that would be lots of Asia, or most of Asia in particular, and particularly South America as well. And countries like America and Australia, and probably even the UK, we have taller people. A lot of the fashion videos made on YouTube are targeted at the US audience and probably the UK audience, the Australian audience, the European, Northern European audience. And the average height for a woman in a lot of those countries is about, I think, 5'6", 5'7". It's not petite. And the other thing for myself is, with a lot of women, we are pear-shaped. And when you're pear-shaped, you tend to be smaller up the top. We have a smaller frame up the top. So much of the oversized look was just not flattering on certain body shapes. And if you were short, well, it really didn't flatter just about anyone. So what to wear instead, and you probably already have this in your wardrobe, I know I do, is your more fitted jackets, your more fitted blazers. If you like this type of video, please subscribe. I was in the fashion industry for over 35 years. I have a passion for fashion and I want to share that with you. And don't forget to give me a like, it is so appreciated. When it comes to trousers and jeans, a lot of the dad jeans and the over accentuated baggy pants and the slouchy pants, a lot of them just have way too much fabric in them, particularly for a petite woman. Much better off sticking with your regular sizing. Another trend that was really big for all of 5 minutes? Barbie core, hot pink. Oh, hot pink is not an easy color for anyone to wear, and it's always been considered rather a young color. Now, I do like a little bit of hot pink. It doesn't really flatter me so much. It's not a color I wear a lot, but on certain women it can look fantastic. But I think we just went OTT with the Barbie core. It really was looking a little bit tacky in my opinion. Of course, the look was driven by the movie Barbie, played by our gorgeous Margot Robbie. It's simply a fun fad, and as we know, fads die out very easily. I'm pretty sure most women over 60 and even over 50 know that. Pink itself as a colour is not out, but I think in preference to wearing hot pink, it might be more flattering to wear those peachy pink colours, particularly if you have warm skin undertones. If you have the cooler skin undertones, you might just want to wear a soft pink or a baby pink, but you could also wear a fuchsia pink. Now you're probably thinking, well, isn't fuchsia pink hot pink? Well, no, they're actually not. Fuchsia pink is a pink that has more purple in it. It's a purple-based pink. It's a little bit more subdued than that really bright, almost fluorescent hot pink. And for women that have cooler skin undertones, purple is a great color for them. When it comes to shoes, apparently chunky shoes are out. The chunky sneaker, the sports sneaker, worn as a fashion sneaker, is out. And I'm happy with that because I don't think they suited lots of fashion garments. Seeing big sports sneakers, chunky sports sneakers worn with elegant dresses didn't personally work for me. What is in with sneakers are more retro sneakers. Retro sneakers are really in. Streamlined retro sneakers. And the hottest sneaker for women right now is an Adidas sneaker called Samba. And New Balance have a really lovely sneaker called Daybreak. And of course there's Converse. In my opinion, Converse have always done a retro style. The other chunky shoes that are considered out are like a platform shoe. So basically any chunky shoe. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing because it doesn't seem to apply to sandals. Sandals have gone in the opposite direction. In particular, the Birkenstock look and slides in general. I've tried on many pairs. I think they look quite hideous on me. Being petite, once again, they're just too dominant on my feet. I think unless you're tall, they don't seem to suit women. That's just my opinion. I think that you have to have lovely slim ankles as well. If you've got heavy ankles like I do, they're just going to accentuate that because they're covering too much of the foot. I would love to know your opinion about these particular slides that are so on trend, the Birkenstock look, but they're going way past the Birkenstock look. They're getting bigger and chunkier. I'm not going to say they're not comfortable. I tried a few on in one of my local stores, and I'm not going to say they're not comfortable. Some of them are incredibly comfortable, but I do worry because they're so big and chunky that I'm going to trip in them if I wore them. And the prices are not budget. We have very few shoe stores in my town, but some of the fashion stores also sell shoes and sandals, and I'm just seeing them everywhere. But I have for some time, but they're getting bigger. They just seem to be getting more chunky. Let me know what you think. And one style heel that won't be missed by many of us mature women is stilettos. I don't want to wear stilettos anymore. I would feel quite anxious tottering around in a pair of stilettos. I don't have a need to wear them locally. And I'm not talking about a minor stiletto. I'm talking over 3 inches, probably about 4 inches or higher. Apparently kitten heels are back. I've never really been a fan of kitten heels either. I don't know why. I just find that something about a kitten heel sometimes I think doesn't have good balance on the foot. It's like you've got all the shoe with a little tiny heel. It just doesn't seem to have enough balance in there. Tell me what you think about kitten heels. I do own quite a few. Personally, for comfort and style, I prefer a lower block heel. On sandals, probably only 1 inch to 2 inches on a sandal, and definitely on a more dressy shoe, no more than 3 inches for me. When it comes to bags, something that I'm quite happy to see the end of is tiny bags. Honestly, I don't know how they became popular. They just look so impractical. Now, I'm not talking about across the body bags. They are still trending. They're still fashionable. They're practical. I'm talking about the 1 or 2 handle tiny bag, and most of them were structured bags, which made them even more silly in my opinion. Sometimes I looked at them and I thought, are they for dolls? Are they for someone that's got a big doll? They don't look right. They look out of balance. So apparently bigger bags are in, quite big. I don't think that's a good look for petite women in particular, because proportion wise, we're going to look really silly. Being quite short with a great big bag, the bag's going to be wearing us. The actual types of bags that are in, I actually quite favor. The hobo bag, the slouchy bags, and the crescent bag. I really like crescent bags a lot. So all of those bags are non-structured and for my lifestyle, and I just quite like the look of some of these bags anyway. They're non-classic bags and they're really in. So that's a big tick for me. I like those kind of bags. Oh, and metallic bags. But for me, metallic bags never went out. They'll never go out for me. I love a metallic bag to give an outfit just some edge. I just think it works wonders for adding edge into an outfit. What's out in denim? I don't think this is going to be any huge surprise to most of you. It's the distressed look in particular, over distressed look, and ripped jeans. Well, they've been out for some time now, and I think minor rip is still okay, and I think a little bit of distressed is still okay. I must admit, over the last couple of years, I've given most of my ripped jeans away to the thrift store. I still have a couple that have just a minor bit of ripping or the distressed look on them. I would imagine right now thrift stores are full of ripped jeans. What's in, and I think this is great, is dark denim. But to me, dark denim never goes out. If you're going to buy jeans, particularly over 50 and 60, you can't go past your dark wash. They are classic. They're going to stand the test of time. They always do. A really nice straight leg or even a boot cut. A look for tops that is out is the slashed look, or anything that had, you know, the cutout in it. I wouldn't be so hard and fast with this one myself, because sometimes I still see that look and I quite like it. If it's moderate, and I think that we can still wear this look. I'm sort of taking that one with a grain of salt. They're saying their way out, but for me, I'm not so sure. If I had one I really liked, I'd still feel very confident wearing it and still think that I'm in fashion. What's in for spring and summer? Well, the list is quite long, and some of the fashion, in my opinion, is not wearable. Some of it's even a little bit hideous, in my opinion, of course. I can't see us strutting around the supermarket wearing feathers, for instance. Perhaps a little bit of feathering on an evening dress might work, but no, hard to look after. And if they're real feathers, I'm personally opposed to that. I think one of the most versatile wearable looks that are in are sets, or cords as I call them. And I've talked about sets for some time now because they have been on trend for, well, at least a couple of years, but they seem to be gaining momentum. There's short sets as well. There's all sorts of short sets, shorts with blazers, shorts with the younger women, crop tops. Crop tops are really in at the moment when they're worn as a set, particularly for younger women. But I do think over 50, if the gap's not too big, I think you could wear the crop top as a set. In fact, even over 60, I would be tempted if it's just a small gap. There's skirt sets, there's printed sets, there's solid color sets. Sets are in. And how can you talk about what's in without mentioning the colors of the season? This got a little bit confusing because first off, I was hearing a lot about red. Red is not a color that lots of women wear. Some women wear red, but I have a little bit in my wardrobe, but it's not a color for everyone. So red, yes, and then I saw white. White's in. Well, white's always in for me. It's never out, but white dresses in particular are in. White dresses are always in for me as well. I hardly see that as a trend, and lots of us might have white dresses in our wardrobe. I have several, and I'm always looking for another great white dress. Green is still trending. I love green. Perhaps Kelly green isn't as strong or as popular, I should say, as it was, although I love it and it's still in fashion. If you've got it, wear it. Don't worry whether it's in or out. Khaki is how we say it in Australia, or army green if you like. Seems to be one of the big colours of this season. Now, once again, it's a great colour. It's a stylish, chic colour. It's not for everyone. It doesn't suit me, unfortunately. I love it on other women. A similar colour that could be more flattering for some women would be an olive green. And I think the difference between an olive green and a khaki to me, and this might be just the way I see it, is the olive green is more pigmented. And the olive green has a little bit more vibrancy to it. One colour that was mentioned that I don't think many women gravitate to is orange, but it was more orange with accessories, orange bags, orange scarves, orange shoes. I can't see many women embracing this trend, but apparently orange and khaki look fantastic together. Those two colours combine really well together. And pearls are trending again. They seem to pop up every few years, and this time it's not just pearl jewellery, it's pearls on garments. We're seeing pearls again on sweaters, we're seeing pearls on shoes, pearl embellishment on denim, you name it. Pearls are back in. I'd be quite cautious with this look because we've seen it before. I've seen pearls come and go that many times in fashion, and I tend to think wearing pearls on your tops or your sweaters, I don't care if they say it's on trend. I think you're going to look more dated than fashionable. Wearing pearl jewelry, and I do really love pearls. I've always loved pearls, but I think if you're wearing an overly classic style over a certain age, you're going to look a little bit conservative or too conservative. I think if you look too classic and too conservative, I think that can be a little bit aging. I don't think it's a youthful look. You have to be selective how you wear your pearls, but there are modern looks happening with pearls. This tiny chain necklace that I have on has just one tiny little pearl right there in the center. Here's my pearl drop earrings that I'd wear out of an evening. They're very 1950s, I think 1950s retro style, and that time of elegance. I think they're quite elegant, but they're not something you'd wear every day, of course. So now might be the time to have fun with your pearl jewelry. It's keeping on the feminine side of things. A look that's really in at the moment apparently is the preppy look. I've never been much of a preppy dresser. One of the key pieces that I would wear, and I have shown in many videos, is the fine knit polo shirts. I don't mean the sporty polo shirts. I'm seeing lots of knits in the stores with the polo necks. Apparently pleated skirts are back in because they tie in with that preppy look. I wasn't aware that they went out, but more so than pleated skirts, and this is a look I do not like, is box pleats. Apparently box pleats are the pleat now that are on trend. Did you have to wear box pleats as your school uniform? We did. When I went to Catholic school, it was all about box pleats, and I've never liked them since. And roses are on trend. How romantic is that? I don't think I'm going to be embracing this look at all. I think it's a younger look, and once again it ties in with the preppy look. We're talking about mostly roses as embellishment, perhaps even rose prints. Oh, I think that could really date somebody, particularly over 60. And if roses weren't enough, bows are back in. Bows on shoes, bows on bags, bow hair clips. Don't think that that would be a good look for someone over 60 myself. I'm going to skip the whole bow look. I've never been into that, so don't know about you. I mean, comment if you like roses and bows. Are you going to be on board with that look? And open-toed boots. I've always thought that was a bit of a silly look. Apparently they're back on trend. I don't know how you feel about open-toed boots, but I'm not getting on board with that one either. They're so impractical. One style I really love is maxis. Maxis are in. Maxis are really in. And for some women, and yes, petite women can wear maxis, by the way. So for some women, we love our maxis. It's great to see that they're in, but personally, I don't see how they ever went out. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you had a bit of fun.